Folks, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. It's good to see you. It always is. I hope you're doing well. We're going to go through the rest of these matches for the round of 16 over in the French Open. See if there's anything we like on the side as we go along. As always, if there's anything I'm going for, that will be in the pinned comment. Make sure you go and have a look at that if you don't already know. And make sure you let me know what you're going for too. Be sure to get involved. Get yourself subscribed to the channel. Like the video, all that stuff. We'd love to have you. Very well. Let me know how did we get on yesterday. There was nothing from me personally, just an outright day for me. Very happy with that. All three of them still live and breathe. I've got some good ones too. And depending on how things go today, I may or may not, but I think I just may be in for the first outright of the tournament. So fingers crossed. Let me know. Did you win? Did you lose? Did you come close? But with that being said, we shall waste no more time with it, and we'll talk about these matches. Four of the best, or so it seems. First off, we've got Zverev. Good old Zverev. And good old Talon Griekspoor in a good old matchup that they just love to give us. They just love to give us this one. We've seen this one quite a few times over the years. Quite a lot recently, to say the least. Head to head is 7-2 to Zverev overall, one apiece. Just on this year alone, we've seen this one in Munich not that long ago on the clay, 2-1 to Zverev. And then we've seen it over in the Indian Wells, 2-1 to Talon Griekspoor. Good stuff. Now, although that head to head is fairly dominant, we can say that the games are anything but easy. We know Zverev can beat Griekspoor more often than not. That's exactly what he ends up doing. But only just. Only just. We know the tale that resides within this one, don't we? This is just a tough game for both parties. We know how good Zverev is on the day. We know he probably should be winning this one. 1.1 on the decimal. These played each other in the French Open last year, and it went 5 sets. It took a tie break in the final set for Zverev to get that one done, and that was last year. 2-1 in Shanghai, straight sets in Paris, and then the previous two that I've just mentioned. There's always tie breaks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 tie breaks in the last 4 games. So maybe have a look at that. Maybe have a look at the over. Griekspoor for a set. It is. You do what you want with it. If history is anything to go off, we should be in for a rather tight game. I thought Zverev's looked okay so far in the French Open. We know he's been a bit patchy on the clay so far. I mean, 17-6 doesn't look that bad. 12-6 for Griekspoor. See, Griekspoor, he struggled a bit against Ethan Quinn, or maybe Ethan Quinn just came out and played a lot better than what maybe Griekspoor thought he would. Anyway, he definitely played better than what I thought he was going to do. I'll give him that. And then fairly decent against Diallo. Second round, fairly decent against Marcus Giron. Pretty much what you'd expect coming from the Dutchman. Thought Zverev looked good against Flavio Cobolli, but the kid has been in really good form. I suppose you could use the excuse that maybe the fatigue got up to him. I don't know. I think there's just levels. I think he just bumped into Zverev. That's what happened there. He looked a little bit shaky against Jesper de Jong in that one set. But apart from that, he's looked fairly solid all week. Just take Griekspoor on the spread. I'd just take Talon Griekspoor on that spread. I think Zverev comes out and does him in straight sets. He really does that. I mean, out of all the times he's beat him, he used to do them a few times in straight sets earlier on in the careers, apart from the very first match in Wimbledon 2021. The rest of them have been so close, more or less a set either way, and then they just dog it out for a win in the third and final one. Or if it was the French Open, the fifth and final set. Take a tie break, take the over. I'd lean towards Griekspoor on the point just for the sake of it. You're not going to go anywhere near Zverev at 1.3. I actually don't mind selling Griekspoor on the points. I think it's 7.5. I think that's very doable. You only need X amount of games from Griekspoor. He's done it in pretty much every other match. If he can cover that in the French Open last year, I would imagine he's got just as much of a chance to get at this version as Zverev. Keep it close. That's all you'd need. I'd be looking at that. No Zverev, minus the points. No Zverev in straight sets. I am expecting him to win. I think it's safe to assume Zverev probably should get this one done, but I think the play for me there would be Talon Griekspoor plus that 7.5 if I had to go with it. So you let me know what you're going for on that. Who've we got next? Cam Norrie, Djokovic. Got Slam Norrie. How is he going to fare against French Open Djokovic? That is the question. He had a decent performance against them last time out over in the Geneva semi-finals. Close match until it weren't. In the end, 6-1 in the third set for Djokovic. Makes it 5-0. That makes it 5-0 on the head-to-head for Djokovic twice on the clay. And I think he wins this one too. He's been fantastic. You know, he won that title over in Geneva. Had a very, very tough match with Hubie in the final. Bounced back over to France. And then he smoked everyone. Straight sets, Mackenzie McDonald, Corentin Moutet, Filip Mislic. I don't want to be that guy, but does it get any easier? Does that draw get any easier for Djokovic so far this tournament? I don't think it does. Cam Norrie, obviously the game against, I was going to say Medvedev, but it weren't. Daniel Medvedev looked like he was going to beast him, then looked like he was going to lose it, and then came in clutch, wrapped that one up. And then it's just been easier and easier, really, hasn't it? You know, Federico Gomez, Jacob Fernley, straight sets. I thought Jacob Fernley, he played a decent match. And it just kind of got away from him in that third set. Cam Norrie just too good on the day. Big spread for Cam Norrie, as you've been getting for the dogs all week. 7.5 once again. Do you think he covers it? I'm not too sure. Looking back at that match in Geneva, like I said, he started well. Kind of tapered off after those two sets. Got fucking slammed in the third, 6-1. I'm not too sure. I do think Cam Norrie has got what it takes to come out and maybe give him a little bit of trouble. You know. Is he going to be able to just grind Djokovic out? Is he going to be able to grind 5 sets out of him? Maybe even grind a win? Probably not, right? Probably not. You wouldn't be crazy to think Djokovic is just going to win this one. Like he pretty much wins every single match he plays. I think he's always been better than Cam Norrie, and even at this point, I do think Cam Norrie is playing very, very well. A lot better than I expected from him. But it's probably not going to be enough to get past Djokovic. It never has been. Maybe it never will be. So you do with that what you will. Maybe look at Norrie on the points, or I don't know. Norrie for a set, you'll get decent odds for that. I imagine you would anyway. Also, well done to those that took Ben Shelton for a set against Alcaraz today. We threw it out there, didn't we? It was not in concrete, but I appreciate you getting involved in that one. Plus money as well. I'm pretty sure someone said plus money in the comments for that one. But yeah, well done to you. We'll move on. We shall move on indeed to Alexander Bublik. And yeah, that's right, he's back. Jack Draper, Jack Diesel, Jack Paper, whatever you want to call him. What a performance. What happened? Anyone seen João Fonseca? Anyone? Anywhere? João Fonseca? Anyone? He was supposed to beat Jack Draper, you said. You told me he was going to beat Jack Draper. You really did. And he didn't come close. That was supposed to be the toughest task yet. and it ended up being easier than Matteo Bellucci. You said Jack Draper looked shit against Gael Monfils. Well, he looked fucking unbelievable against that kid. He really did. I think he beats Alexander Bublik too. I think he beats Bublik. 1.08. Oh, he was 1.5 the other day. He was 1.5 the other day, and now he's 1.08. Can you believe that? I absolutely can. I thought Bublik's been really good. You can't deny the clay form of Alexander Bublik. To be honest with you, he looked decent against James Duckworth. He didn't look good against de Minaur up until the point where he did. Those first two sets, I mean, he lost his serve, was that like 5 times before he even managed to do anything in that match? I think that was more to do with Alex de Minaur just shitting the bed a game or two early. How you end up losing from that position is disgusting, but nonetheless, a win is a win. And then Enrique Rocha, rather standard, rather routine victory for Alexander Bublik there, and we kind of expected it. How's he going to get on against Jack Draper? Is everyone going to be saying Bublik's going to win this one? Draper's going to struggle because it's a best of 5, the fitness, this and that. If you don't know by now, I guess you never will. Now, like I said at the start about the outrights, I have got Jack Draper to get to the quarterfinals, providing he gets past this one. There you go. Dollar bills, y'all. I'll be very happy with that. Very, very happy with that. And just because I've got an outright on the go, I don't exactly have to take Jack Draper anyway today. But just for the sake of it, that spread's 6.5. 6.5. I think that is very, very doable. Very doable indeed. I feel like he'd have covered that in pretty much every, if not every single match so far this week. Well, this tournament. Bublik will serve well. You know, he's strong, he hits hard. Jack Draper hits back. This is the thing. He does. He hits back, and he hits back twice as good. He does. You're not going to outmaneuver him. You're not going to hit through him. You just won't be able to outplay him. Stop him. Your only hope is to contain him. And take Jack Draper minus that 6.5. I'm expecting another smack shot again. Like I said, people expected him to get worse against Joao Fonseca. He struggled or whatever against Monfils. I don't know. I just think Monfils, I'm not going to say it, but Monfils is good. He's still good to go. You know what I mean? He had the entire of that stadium on his side. And he's still tough to beat. He's still crafty. He knows how to play. You know what I mean? He's very, very good at adapting to certain situations. It just gets to a point with Monfils where his body will not allow him to go any further in a match. And that's exactly what happened. We kind of expected that. Did drop a set to him. Did drop a set to Matteo Bellucci. You know, I've seen people just sticking Fonseca for the one set on a parlay. And that must have felt fucking horrible to watch that match. You know, you go from thinking he's going to win to hoping he just wins the one set to getting neither. Levels. Pure levels. I didn't hear from any of the closeted Fonseca fans for yesterday's video, but I imagine they'll be out in full effect for today's. So I say this, Jack Draper squad, where are we? Back once again. Let me know if you're having a go on this one. I hope he gets it done. If he does, outright number 1 in the bag. Happy days. But just for the sake of it, like I said, I might just take him minus them points. Because I enjoy watching his games. And I know how good he is. I actually do. But yeah, you pay your money and you take your choice. As always, looking at that form of Alexander Bublik, pardon me, it's quite good. It's quite good. 8 and 10, same as Jack Draper. You've got Gigante, Arnaboldi, Echeverry, Altmaier, Boo, Duckworth, a shit the bed demon, Enrique Rocha, decent form. Not one of them, not a single one of them operates at the level, nowhere near the level that Jack Draper does. I'm sorry, but it's just a fact. Not played anyone like this within that run of form. We've seen him run into Casper Ruud. He looked good against Casper Ruud. Lost that one. Come over to Hamburg. You know, Gio and Pechi Pericard beat him in straight sets. Maybe that's not saying much in this one, quite the contrast in styles. Jack Draper's only getting beat by the best. I said that in the last one, you didn't believe me. Well, most of you did. Some didn't. Most did. He only gets beat by the best. And whether you want to admit it or not, this lad actually is one of the best at the moment. So I could only look at Jack Draper. Staying away from the whole straight sets thing, that's just, as we all know very well, that hasn't been worth it much this week. -6.5, very, very doable. I'm expecting, at the very least, Bublik will keep this close for a little bit, maybe. He can come out, serve well, maybe keep the first set close. I do see an absolute beatdown in one of the sets, maybe two, hopefully all of them, we don't know, but -6.5, I might just do it, don't overthink it, see how you get on, and then we'll wrap this shit up with Jannik Sinner, Andrei Rublev. What's going to happen here? Quite concerned for Andrei Rublev after what I've seen Jannik Sinner do to Yuri Lehechka. It's been good all week. Jannik Sinner has been fantastic all tournaments. Rinderknech, Richard Gasquet, dead easy though. They're too easy of a draw. We said about the favourable draw for Djokovic, those first two, dead easy. Yuri Lehechka, he's been playing a lot better than what he has been the past few months. Snapped into a bit of form, ran into Jannik Sinner. One of the most embarrassing performances I've ever seen. Not for Yuri Lehechka, but just I did feel embarrassed for him in a sense. A bagel, 6-1, 6-2. What is that? What is that? That's no mercy, is it? No mercy. That's Cobra Kai tennis. It really is. Andrei Rublev, you'd say he's on a 3-game winning streak. He did get the walkover against ATP. Now, no doubt he would have benefited from said walkover, but personally, I would have liked to have seen that match with Rublev and ATP. I'd have loved to have seen how that would have panned out. Me personally, I wouldn't have been surprised at all to have seen Jannik Sinner v ATP instead. Absolutely not. Rublev's just doing what he does because we know he can do it to an extent. But being able to predict when he's going to do what he does when we know he can do it is pretty much an impossible task. It really is. Been a lot. What am I going? It's just the same stuff. I find myself saying it's the same stuff every time with Andrei Rublev. He's been playing good. You know, he's been winning some games, playing some decent tennis. But I think the brunt of the fucking logic is that he just, every time he comes to this spot where you think he stands a chance to do well, keep it close, etc., he never performs. He never performs. Which is making me believe that because he's coming up against Jannik Sinner and he's a 13-1 underdog, is this the ultimate write-off spot for Andrei Rublev? And does he just turn up and actually give it a decent go just when you're not expecting him to? Because every time I expect him to do well, he never really does. But usually when I'm expecting him to struggle or I don't want to touch him, he usually plays quite alright. Quite difficult to get a read on in that regard. Head-to-head is 6-3 to the Italian. Now, Rublev did beat him in Canada last year, quarterfinals on the hard court. These haven't played on the clay since 2022. Rublev won that one, the French Open. That was a retirement by the looks of it. And yeah, 6-3. I mean, it's not too bad. If you were going off just this year's form alone, you'd expect it to be well worse than that, but it's not. Decent games, decent matches. I mean, look, if Jannik Sinner's beaten you in like 2022, and then 2023, and then in 2024, there's no way this version of Rublev is going to beat this version of Jannik Sinner. I refuse to believe it. I feel like ever since he's come back from let's just say his time away. He's only been beaten by Alcaraz, and he's pretty much fucking smashed everyone else. So I imagine Rublev's no exception, right? Lloyd Harris 3-1, Adam Walton straight sets, walkover against ATP. I hope it's not. I hope it's not the same as what he done to Lehechka. I can't see it. We say it all the time, and it's, you know, I suppose it applies for the very best as well. Although you usually get a solid 8 or 9 out of 10 out of Jannik Sinner every time. That against Yuri Lehechka, that's something else. That's something else. What he pulled off there. Richard Gasquet had a better game, believe it or not, against Jannik Sinner, and he even got bageled too. Artur Rinderknech had a well closer game against Jannik Sinner, as opposed to Yuri Lehechka. Massive spread. What's that spread gonna be? Is it here? Is it? Let me just see if I can get it real quick. Anyone know what the spread is on this? It's gonna be big, right? I think I'm zeroing in on it. 8.5, maybe. We calling it 8.5. Andrei Rublev plus the 8.5. I don't know. Just trying to find some value in this one, folks. Obviously, there's no business to be done with the money lines. Just because Andrei Rublev is the price he is doesn't mean you just take him because of the price or whatever, you know. But plus the 8.5, like I said, I've just got a weird feeling he could just come out and keep this one a lot closer. Everyone's expecting him to get fucking dog walked because of what Sinner done to Lehechka, but what are the odds he comes out and does that again? I don't know. Say Rublev's beaten him before. Rublev seems to be very, very fragile at the moment, and Jannik Sinner is quite the contrary. He seems to be on quite the warpath, so I probably would expect Jannik Sinner to wrap this up in straight sets. I would. I'm not too sure how Andrei Rublev is going to react to the game of Jannik Sinner in the current state. But I hope he can keep it close. Imagine if he won this. Deep down, I suppose I'd really love him to win this one. I mean, it wouldn't be good for the outright. Just one of them anyway. Or is it two of them? I think it's just the one. I've got him on one, the big one. Yeah, maybe not then. I want Jannik Sinner to win this for me big 18-1 outright. But I would love Rublev to keep it close. I think he can. Sprinkle on the 8.5. Look, it's a big outright day for me anyway. If Jack Draper wins, I get that cash. Quite a decent chunk of it too. So I don't mind just having a little flutter on a spread or two today. Am I going to fire on Andrei Rublev against this version of Sinner? I don't know if I'm brave enough to. But I wish you the best of luck with it. As always, you let me know what you're going for. Best bets, all that stuff. And we'll leave it there. Alright? Very well. I'll be saying good night to you, folks. You take it easy here. You take care of yourselves. You take care of one another. It's the most important thing. Like and subscribe, yeah? Like and subscribe. Get yourself involved. Be kind. And I'll see you in a bit, yeah? Enjoy the tennis. Enjoy the matches today. And I'll see you tomorrow.